we're back with another movie review. This time I'm going to do Soul by Disney and Pixar. So I've been seeing this movie fly around all over the place since it came out. A lot of people have been kind of divided. A lot of people said it's the greatest movie ever. And then a lot of other people are like, it's not that serious. So I decided to go ahead and check it out because I am a big fan of Disney Pixar. And I was also really excited because I saw that Jamie Foxx was going to be the main character. And I love me some Jamie. I was very excited to see this. Before I start this review, I want to let you guys know that I will be doing spoilers. If you have not seen this movie yet, please leave now. If you have, grab a snack. I'm going to give you a little plot or a synopsis of the movie. And then if you want to leave before I start spoiling it, you're welcome to do. The movie is about a high school band teacher whose life just doesn't go the way he wanted it to go. He's actively trying to pursue his dreams, but he just keeps getting turned down for gigs, and he really wants to get into playing the piano professionally. And so, but then he ends up having a accident which causes him to die, and he ends up going to the great beyond. Basically, the whole movie is about him trying to get back and to, get his life back, get his shot. Along the way, he meets a soul who is, I don't want to say she's lost, she's not lost yet, but she's basically a soul who's just unimpressed with the idea of going to Earth. But he is tasked with trying to help her find her spark for life. This ends up taking them on a whole journey of self-discovery. There's actually something I want to bring up real quick before I get into this film. I actually saw a TikTok recently that had said something about how people of color are, whenever they are depicted in a film, they are put into an animal character to make them more relatable or likable, or they're put into a frame of sorts, like not if it's not an animal, then it's like a otherworldly being, to say, which a lot of people are very upset with and say that Disney has a history of doing this. Some of the examples that were given were Princess and the Frog, where Tiana spends most of her time as a frog, or Mulan, Mushu, Dragon, Eddie Murphy. After I saw the movie, I did like it. I had my issues with it, as all movies, but I did like it. But then when I saw this TikTok, it made me think a little bit deeper into that. And so I was like, It got me to actually see the film in a different way. I mean, we don't really see Jamie Foxx in his role too long before he is dead and then takes on the form of a cat. And he's a cat a majority of the film. And then when we see him again, he's himself. This can be a heavy debate. And that's just something I wanted to bring to light and bring to, YouTube as a discussion to kind of see where everybody else thought about that, or if anybody ever thought about that, or just what's the consensus? How do you stand, or how do you feel about it? That's just something I wanted to say before I started the review. The film itself I thought was very sweet, has a very nice tone the entire time. It's very cute to watch. Very pleasing for the eyes. I thought the main character he's very likable. He's very relatable. He's so relatable in the sense that, he's just trying so hard to reach his dream, but he works he works a day job. But at night he's pursuing his dream. He will just do anything he can to get his dream, which he doesn't realize ends up causing someone else extreme pain. The amount of depth that this character shows, the evolution of the character, how he changes and gets better, realizing that he's costing somebody else pain. He puts himself aside and becomes a very selfless person at the end of the movie. I loved that there's a progression to this character, and you just don't see him in one note. And even though he really wants to achieve his dream, he wants another zest for life, he's willing to give that up for somebody else. And that, to me, is probably the best message of the movie that you can take away from it. Just because a lot of people are like, well, the movie's about just being grateful about what you have. Which, yes, but I took it more of a being just so aware of other people and how your actions and your words can affect other people. I would have liked to have seen him more in his role before he got switched into a cat. Tina Fey plays 22, which is this soul who's been there, done that. She's had several mentors throughout her path. None of them have helped her, which my issues that I have with the film are there's a lot of little things like that. The first thing I want to address is the fact that they said he was dead, but they keep showing his body as if he's still alive. He falls down a manhole, and that's just instant death, which I'm maybe ignorant on this, but usually when we see manhole covers open and people fall through, they just fall in some water. That's always kind of been the thing where there's just instant manhole is always water. I could be wrong. I've never seen the inside of a manhole cover. I don't know. It's just dark. But for him, it was instant death. But then the film keeps showing his body as if he's alive. When he goes to jump back into his body, or he finds his body with the help of the other souls, his body's laying up in a hospital. That's not dead. I wish the film would have been a little bit more like, I guess, more explaining on that, or just been like, hey, he's not dead, but his body's in limbo. Like, just kind of making a little bit more like, for me, it just didn't make sense. You're telling me he's dead, but then you're showing a body that's in the hospital. Dead bodies do not go to hospitals. Dead bodies go to morgues. So, or, depending on what the situation is. If they don't know what he died from, he'd go to a medical examiner. But in this case, it was a clear shot. He fell down, he died, whatever. But the film doesn't treat it as if he's dead. The film treats it as if he's just on life support. But they keep saying dead. So, like I said, just my little thing. I don't know if maybe I didn't understand something, but that's what I got from it. And then the whole thing with 22. Now, when they show all the souls being made, things like that, they all have this cute little childlike mentality, and they're little souls, they're babies, they don't know anything. But 22 seems to be clearly very grown, or has grown more than the other ones. But she's had all these deceased mentors, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Young. So then that leaves me to question, like, can souls get older if they just stay there? And then how does that look like when she finally goes to Earth? Because at the end of the movie, she's going and she's flying off. But my question is, so is she going to wake up in a baby's body and like not remember this whole entire journey that she just had with somebody else, this connection? Like, those little questions kind of stuck out to me. And to be honest, I don't really feel like 22's character was needed. I get that, it adds to the film because, once again, it goes back to the whole being selfless, putting yourself in other person's shoes, seeing what the damage of your words and things like that can do to another person. I think I would have just taken Jamie Foxx going on this life discovery journey, and it leading somewhere else. I don't really think 22 is needed, and I think 22 just adds more questions. I don't think the movie wanted to answer. They were like, just enjoy this. I think 22 just adds a lot of loose ends, like loose questions that just weren't answered. When they come with the whole, oh, he's dead, at no point in time is the mother notified the entire time. I mean, and then like how long before somebody found him? Did his mother not get called? It's things like that where I'm just like, something's not clicking here. The story also, once again, shows some spotlight on something, expectations of your parents, what it's like to have your parents, believe in one thing about just, going to school, getting a good job, and staying with a good job that has benefits, and not, when you're going for your dreams, you're crazy and it's a waste of time. And I think that's a very relatable subject too, that a lot of people currently feel with their parents, for the mother to, progress and show, yes, she feels that way, but she's still proud of her son regardless. I thought was also a very nice touch to the film, and once again, progression for the character. The film does a lot of things really well, but I also feel like there's a lot of things that are like, another thing that I want to mention is when, I think it's Terry, like Terry, Jerry, whatever, but Terry, when he's on like that huge search for the main character, he's running around looking all over human Earth, and the first thing they told him is, do not get seen no matter what. He gets seen, takes this poor guy and thinks that it's him, traumatizes him, and then just leaves. Doesn't erase his memory, just leaves this guy now traumatized for life because he saw something he can't explain. And I was just like, okay, while I think that this is meant to add comedy, it just leaves a question. You know what I mean? Like, once again, it's just like, okay, now we're breaking what's realistic and obviously the whole film is not. You know what I mean? Those questions, that to me was just kind of weird. Like I said, I'm like, oh, he's not going to erase his memory now, so no, he's just going to be traumatized for life. Okay. Also, something else I want to mention the film is the whole like in the zone kind of thing. Apparently, when a person is very focused on something, they enter the zone, which if you want, you can then trickle out of your body and run around the zone area. For what reason, I don't know. I just think that's kind of weird too, to throw that in a movie, because then I'm just like, so at any point in time, if he just feels like checking out, he can just play some piano and just dip off. Like, that's your soul leaving your body, and then they show the body still moving though. Like, if your soul leaves your body, I thought you were done. Like, I thought, what's controlling your body? Like, you will go into autopilot so you're able to leave. But to me, it's like, if you're in the zone, you're at your most focused. So you'd be so present in the moment. Am I thinking too hard about this film? I don't know. Maybe. But those were just a few questions that I had. Like, to me, it made more sense if you could enter the zone if you were sleeping. You know, because your body might just slip out. What's that called? That moment when they're like, I saw myself floating away. Like that. Kind of like that. But no, it's not sleeping. It's literally like the concept of me drawing, I'm sketching or whatever. And I'm sketching so good and so hard and I'm in it that I just fucking drift away somewhere into a dark purple room with other people who are in the zone. You mean to tell me my body's just gonna keep moving on itself? That's kind of creepy. That's like possession. And then that leaves your vessel open for another person to just jump in. You see? This is why sometimes watching movies is I think too much. Anyways, for him to be able to, that's the only way that he can then reach the other world to help 22 is by getting into the zone. But I just have questions of how the zone works. Moving forward, the animation of it is gorgeous, beautiful. It was funny here and there, very lighthearted. It was very cute, like I said. It's a very cute film. If you don't think about it too hard, like apparently I am, it's a very cute film. Do I think it's the best film of 2020? No. Just because, first of all, 2020 has been, our bar is real low. So maybe that's why people are saying it's the best, because it's so lighthearted, and after the year we've had, we needed something like this. For me, the best movie I saw for 2020 so far has been Black Box. So it's a nice adventure, you know, and it gets you to think a little bit deeper. And I'm all for it. I'm gonna go ahead and rate Disney Pixar's Soul 3.5 out of 5. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you've seen Soul, let me know in the comments down below how you felt about the movie. What were some things that you felt were loose ends? What were some things that didn't make sense to you? Because clearly I have a lot of things that I felt just didn't connect, and I have a lot of loose ends. But let me know how you felt about the movie if you've seen it. And if you haven't, go check it out and then let me know how you feel about it. And I will catch you guys on the next one. See ya!